agenda is the approval of minutes. If there's no objection, we can take these all as one. Janie first.
Second.
Jeff second. Any questions on this? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Appointments. Mitchell Knapp.
Budget for grant we applied for.
Is his mic
Will
on?
you hit the button on the mic and turn it on? Yeah.
Move on the top. Okay.
This one up top. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Meeting County Council, Mitchell Knapp, Lawrence County Health Department. Here for a grant budget proposal. County Council have any questions for me specifically regarding that?
922-3.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You've got two on the phone.
He's only doing 9223.
Is.
Yes, H5N1 supplemental.
And this is grant.
This is a reimbursable grant from,
Grant.
yep.
This is our first time to meet you, so what's your position at the health department?
Public health, emergency preparedness, and health promotions.
Ooh, big title.
Yeah, that's a lot of letters.
Okay, is there any questions for this one? No questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Scott first,
Second.
Julie second. No comments? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
So taking the other one out? Taking the other one out?
Hi, I have a budget to, it's for the appropriation that we received last year, 2024. This is for the funds left over that we didn't use in 2024, so that we can put them into action hopefully this year. So it's Health First Indiana. The total amount is $367,005.56 that was left over.
That was left over?
Yeah. We received about $580,000. And by the time they got all the rules and the applications and things to us, we were usually about halfway through the year. And then to put programs into place, it was toward the very end of the year that we were able to do that. Mitch is partially funded from H1, sorry, that was your grant. Mitch is partially funded with this Health First Indiana. We were also able to hire a school liaison nurse that it's kind of some mixed funding. But anyway, we've got two positions in our office that are not paid in any way through the county. And this grant and another one helps us do that. This is not a grant, this is an appropriation.
What are the capital improvements that are listed?
Capital improvements are things like we've had some countertops built in our office so that we could add more space. We're very tight. So we've done that. We have a $4,000 door going on to our back of our office because we had a door that we couldn't get easily into or out of. So we're spending the money to replace it. Capital improvements are anything that improve our building. That is our responsibility. So if we were to replace carpet, or things like that, we would use that money to do that. They allow us each year to save 10% of whatever we get into capital improvements. So last year it was 50-some thousand, and this year it was 90-some thousand that we were able to save, and then we've been using it to slowly improve things that we've needed in our office fixed, upgrades, without having to come before you.
Fund item 61, for change on this one. Any other questions on this? Questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Amy first,
Second.
Julie second. Any questions? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Nay, noes? Motion passed.
Great, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, line 7. Highway.
The highway. I got to pull some funds from restricted to non-restricted for overtime. We have a little bit more overtime due to storms for my foremans. That's the first one for $10,000. It's coming out of line 05, let's see, 30. You want to vote for all three of them at once, or one at a time?
Let's do one at a time.
All righty.
Can I say something? That is an additional.
Yes. He's got it on the right page.
Okay. I he said transfer.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out one day.
You did it on the right page.
Yeah. We got additional on this one. Okay. Any questions on this one? No questions, entertain a motion?
So moved.
James first,
Second.
Jeff second. Any questions? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That one's passed.
My other two additionals are about the same price for $150,000, and that is to pull over for road projects on a MVH.
I'm so sorry, what did you say, Brian?
Road projects, $150,000, they're both the same. So one's for road projects, and the other one's for difference in revenue and expenditures from 2024.
And what's the balance in the account you're pulling these from?
Okay, Scott, what that is was our receipts from last year, and then that is what was left that we did not budget for. So that is just basically last year's money. In 76 and 73. I think I spoke with you and Bill about it at the office.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And this is, am I right on, this is the wheel and surtax, correct?
Yep.
So where exactly does this money come from? What,
It's out of our MVH funds. It's not general budget.
yeah,
It's all MVH.
just that you get from the
So this
state?
is actually the money that comes in from the state for the wheel and surtax that you pay on your license and everything. That's what this money is.
More questions? Entertain a motion?
Move to approve.
James first,
Second.
Bill second. Any further questions? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Noes? Motion passed.
And the last one's the same thing.
Same thing, and that's out of the NVH,
Correct.
just a different fund.
Different fund line.
Any questions on this one? Entertain a motion?
So moved.
Scott's first,
Second.
Amy second. Any questions? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Noes? Motion passed.
And that's why I bring Jamie.
Okay, this one's changed around a little bit. I think we got Judge Galvin.
Good evening, President Butterfield, members of the council. I'm here for Judge Nykerk, for Judge Plummer, okay? For Lawrence Superior Court 1.
That was
They-
a real big third one.
Listen, just glad to be in the game, you know? Just fine, it's just fine. But they have a vacancy with a court reporter, and they just had one leave recently, and so they want to have permission to go ahead and fill, or at least look for the proper person to fill the court reporter role. They've already budgeted for it. In fact, at this point, they have enough left in their budget for that position that there's no way they're going to expend all the funds, okay? This is a level E. Court reporters, I think, are all level E, so just letting you all know. Not the total salary, but remember, it's already budgeted for this year, but the total annual is $40,329. For this year, that court reporter, if hired by next week, it'd be something close to, I believe, Patty, Ms. Salee has all of the numbers here for me, but it's around $21,000, and they have more than that left in their budget to pay if they can find the right court reporter. So they're asking for permission to go ahead and fill that vacancy.
Because this is the one Judge Plummer normally runs 5,
Yes,
down to 4.
yes.
Any questions for Judge Guy?
Court Administrator Salee is here as well. She would know the numbers much better.
He is one of the least staffed.
Pardon me?
He's one of the least staffed courts.
Yes.
Well, we have 5 up in Circuit with 2 judges. They have 5 in Superior Court 1, and then 6 in Superior Court 2. I think Superior Court 2 has 6. Yeah,
I was thinking they run 6, 6, and then 5.
I think 5 only in
They're counting Jeff as security.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
Or Maisie, or-
We do have 5 court reporters and a bailiff in Circuit with the 2 judges, so.
Any further questions? Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Scott first,
Second.
Amy second. Any further questions? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay. Randy Roberts, same order.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. I've handed a packet out. I will kind of go through the packet as I'm speaking so you can follow. But thanks for the opportunity to speak with you today about something that is not just under our feet, but vital to our future. Soil and water and the dedicated people who protect them. Our Soil and Water Conservation District, or the SWCD. Here in Lawrence County, we know just how vital the work is. Did you know that 40% of all the acres in our county is actively farmed? That's nearly half our land dedicated to growing food and raising livestock. And we just don't farm, we lead. Lawrence County is proud to be the 3rd highest beef producing county in the state. On the back side of the first sheet in your packet, it shows that Lawrence County has a total of 287,475 acres. 108 of those acres are agriculture. 155,000 are forest and wetland acres, and 23,000 are developed acres. Agriculture comes with challenges: erosion, nutrient loss, water management, and that's where Lawrence County SWCD makes a real difference. On the next page of your packet, in 2024 alone, Lawrence County Soil and Water Conservation District provided over $200,000 in cost share assistance to local farmers, covering practices that supported more than 7,000 acres of farmland. That's 7,000 acres where conservation practices are now helping protect the soil health, improving water quality, and boost productivity. And it doesn't just stop there. Our district also offered technical assistance to over 368 individuals just last year. Since 2020, Lawrence County Soil and Water received $640,000 in cost share grants and an educator grant in 2024 for $62,000. These are grants that we apply for. Clean Water Indiana and 319 grants are available in every county, but not every county pursues the opportunity due to the extra workload a grant requires. SWCD grants pay out at 75% of the landowner's cost. That $640,000 does not include the landowner investments, which may range from 25 to 50% more. Quick math, that's almost $1 million. And without 2 county-paid staff members, the Soil and Water would not be able to work at this capacity nor apply for cost share grants. Conservation on the ground, clean water, and reducing soil erosion is our goal. As we are meeting these goals with cost share assistance, we are also boosting the community economically. This $1 million is funneling directly back into the county. Examples of this being purchasing gravel and fabric for an access road from Blackwell or Ingram's, fence post or fencing from Bender Lumber, automatic waterers pipeline from Lawrence County Farm Supply or Tractor Supply, and their seed and fertilizer from Standish or Bedford Feed and Seed. You get the idea. But also think about equipment rental. Not everyone owns their own equipment needed to install these practices that they're implementing. So they rent equipment from Lazy Diamond or Tri-County, or even better, they hire one of our many local contractors that we have on our contractors list in the office that can construct the practice to meet NRCS specs. On the next page, it is on the provided leverage sheet. It shows that every dollar the county contributes to the Soil and Water, the SWCD leverages that dollar to $53 in return. With every grant the SWCD receives comes grant requirements. These requirements consist of, but not limited to, education events, field days, outreach, 25% landowner cash match, record keeping, and quarterly reporting. Our office is located behind Lowe's in the USDA Service Center, along with Farm Service Agency, FSA, and Natural Resource Conservation Service, NRCS. Most soil and water offices are in close proximity with FSA and NRCS because we collaborate on most of our conservation programs. We have an agreement with NRCS to assist with customers' phone calls, technical assistance, in exchange for office space, computers, phones, and last but not least, most important, the government vehicle, because we are a field office. Currently, NRCS has over 200 active contracts equaling over $8 million. Up to this point in 2025, they have approved 78 additional contracts equaling $3,270,000. These dollars are handled the same exact way that the SWCD handles the grants. All funded participants require a field visit, designs, practice checkout before payout. Quick math, that's almost $13 million that has helped facilitate this county. One last thing I want to mention, let's not forget education. Lawrence County SWCD are also invested in the next generation, visiting classrooms, hosting workshops, and helping young people understand the value of conservation. When we teach our kids to care for the land, we're teaching them to care for the future. With the increase of cost share grants that we received over the last 5 years, we weren't able to get into the school classrooms as much as we needed to. And instead of asking the county to pay for another position in our office, we applied in 2024 for a part-time educator position. This is a 3-year, 20-hour-a-week position with no benefits. These positions have a high turnover rate. We're lucky and we found a passionate college ag major that the kids love, and hopefully we get to keep her till 2027. What makes this all more powerful is that the SWCDs are locally led. They're not distant government agencies. They're made up of people right here in our community. The Soil and Water Conservation Board of Supervisors is composed of 5 individuals who are dedicated to conservation and supporting Lawrence County. The Soil and Water Conservation District is not just a partner in agriculture, but a partner in the community. Let's continue to support their work, share their message, and be proud of the progress we're making right here in Lawrence County. So the remaining part of your packet includes, after the leverage sheet, the green map, that is funding as a lead from 2021 to 2025. Lawrence County is only allowed to be the lead of 2 clean water grants at a time. These are 3-year grants, so that holds us back a little bit from being able to apply for more. These grants can be used for cost share or equipment purchases. I can't speak for other counties on what their grant dollars are used for, but I can speak of Lawrence County during this time period. Out of $244,500, $182,500 went straight to cost share, straight back into Lawrence County. $62,000 of that was our educator position. The next page is the blue map. That is total funding, 2021 to 2025. Once we are the lead of 2 grants, the only way we can get more grant money is to partner with a surrounding county on a grant and have them be the lead, sharing the grant requirements and the grant funds. Lawrence County, if you notice on that map, being number 1 in the most money funded at $314,500. And on the last map, it's a heat map of best management practices installed. This is only by the SWCD that is actively reducing sediment loss in 2024. I'm showing this to just highlight the work that Lawrence County is doing compared to the surrounding areas. 128 practices installed, and 126 of those were funded with our Clean Water Indiana grants. Last page is just activities and other things that we have been involved in. We've started, we've improved in the last 5 years. Thank you for your support and your time, and if you have any questions, we would love to answer them.
Nice report.
I got one question on the educational programs completed. What have you got going in 2025?
Well, our educator's not here.
The reason I was curious was on the drone workshop, which you did in 2023. Is that farm?
That was we partnered with Purdue Feldon on that workshop.
It was for fertilizer
Yeah,
application and seed application.
yeah.
That's the one they had at the airport.
Now, we had it
Feldon, Purdue Farm. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was one at the airport too, wasn't
It was a mess.
That's all I got. You guys have any questions?
No, I just appreciate everything you do.
Thank you. Okay. Items for consideration. There's nothing there. One thing I do want to mention, if council has no objection. The July 22nd meeting, need to bump to July 29th. Due to auditors conference, we won't have an auditor or first deputy. If there's no objection on that, we can move that to the 29th.
I'm good.
Okay, Martha, we're gonna move that into the 29th.
Thank you.
Okay, Prosecutor Sam Art.
Really loud back in the corner, so I'll try not to blow anybody's eardrums out. Hey, everybody. So I lost a paralegal, Jonathan, that's been with us since I took office in 2019. He was poached by a law office to be neighbors here in town. So losing a very valuable employee with that. Have a proposal with helping out with the budget reduction for next year. So last year, the council graciously allowed me to hire a receptionist for $32,000 a year with a pay scale. I kind of thought that this might be coming down the road within the next year or two, so we were cross-training this person the entire time to be a paralegal, and she was able to step into Jonathan's position and, I don't want to say picked up where he left off, but have a good grasp of what we're doing. Jonathan's position was on a pay scale E. What I'm proposing is not a pay scale E, but to move this person that's in the pay scale A position to the pay scale D position, put her in the paralegal role that we have, and then I won't fill the scale A position for this year, and I won't ask for it next year. But, 4 or 5 years down the road, if I'm still in this role and we're still trucking along and doing better, then I'd like to revisit maybe putting that position back in there, but for now, we'll learn to deal without it. So that'll be a savings off of next year's budget of $32,000 and saving of a little over $20,000 this year. So I guess to sum up, move the person from A to D, and move them out of that position and fill the position that was just left, and then not fill that position. Is that clear, or am I jumping all over the place?
Follow you, something like Andy did in the office.
And I had the numbers, but I left them on my desk. Maybe Martha can help me out with it. I think it's like 1,800 will be the difference in pay. Does that sound about right for a full year? Yeah, 1,300, 1,500 or something like 1,800. Yeah.
Close.
Pretty close, if you want exact.
It's not like 30 grand or anything like that, so.
Is this the receptionist position that is partially supported by 4D funds?
Yes.
Will that still be an option if this person's job responsibilities change?
As far as any reimbursement goes, yeah, we could theoretically tap into that. And really, it's probably a pretty good idea because we have 2 positions in the office that prepare all the charging information and the court information documents for the courts, but then they also answer phone calls when people walk into the office. So there's probably, we could easily justify a percentage of at least one person's pay for the child support people that walk in. Now, whether that looks like 30% or 40 or 50%, I don't know, but what I would do in that situation is I would write that up, send it up to Indianapolis and get prior approval, and then start doing that. And we actually have that window now, since we have that person in the pay scale A there, that we could probably transition that over. But I would seek that to save additional money this year, and could get you probably an answer back before the next meeting.
Any questions? The way we did them other ones, I think there was 2 others before. When we did that, when we bumped those up, we did a permanent reduction in staff on them.
Which I think is essentially
kind of
what he's asking for.
I'm saying that that's okay for now, but, we might revisit it.
But we would have to go back and change that one. Another one have to be added to the
The salary ordinance,
So that would be considered a permanent reduction in staff. Any questions?
no.
Any questions?
So you have a date that you want this, because the clerk came pre-gamed because she knew somebody was going out, so we were able to amend the salary ordinance like the day before, and then she could start the next day. But it sounds like you're kind of already there and are requesting sooner rather than later an amendment to the salary ordinance to move her to a different scale,
That's correct.
and then eliminate the other one.
That's correct.
Okay, so I don't know what your meeting status looks like, but in order for him to do that, you have to amend the salary ordinance and advertise for that.
Okay, so that would fall in the next meeting.
Unless you choose to do a separate meeting for that.
Martha.
The next meeting.
I have to type all those minutes, Jane.
I know.
Okay, so then that would be a motion to table. Well, really, we're going to get a motion to table because we're going to get a new salary. We're going to put salary ordinance on the
Yeah,
next.
put it on the next agenda, so if you want to wait for the next meeting or have a special meeting to do it, as Martha mentioned.
Okay. So motion to table.
Can we get a motion to approve partially and a motion to table the other part so I can go back and tell my employee?
You move for a motion to approval pending ordinance.
There you go. That's why you make the big bucks.
Is that the motion you're going to make? Sure. Okay. Second. Scott made first, Jeff made second. Any other questions? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Noes?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, my gosh. Sheriff Greg Day.
It's a great day. It's gonna get ugly.
How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
For those that don't know me, most of some of you do. My name is Brandon Black. I'm the chief deputy, not Sheriff Greg Day. That's okay. He's on the agenda. He was not able to make it today. He had a doctor's appointment up in Indianapolis, meeting with a surgeon. So for those of you that know, that's what he's doing. I'll start with the current jail population today. Just a little bit ago, there was 74 total inmates, 63 males, 11 females, 6 DOC holds, 4 level 6 felons who were sentenced here locally, and 3 parole holds. And I think he sent some of this stuff to you as well, or he said he did. Hopefully you had a chance to look a little bit, but we're gonna have a couple hiring requests, We'll start with the merit deputy or the patrol side.
What I would like to do on this.
Okay, yeah.
What I would like to do on this is you've got merit deputy dispatch and jail in this.
Yes.
What I would like to do is these ones at a time.
Okay, that's fine.
Not as a package, but one.
That's fine. Yeah, I'll do merit deputy and then let you guys consider. Yep. Technically, we have 2 unapproved positions open right now. We lost an officer to Martinsville and then an officer to Bloomington PD. After today, we'll have 3. Lonnie Johnson, who's a captain on second shift, he's finally retiring. 33 plus years on patrol. So like I said, after today, we'll have 3 positions open. We currently have 1 on military deployment who will be gone all year. He'll be back next, I believe, March or April. We have 2 currently in the academy. We have 1 that we've hired, has not started yet, but he will be in field training. He's coming from the jail. We're also down a transport position, so our merit deputies or patrol officers are doing a lot more of these now. Like I said, in essence, we're operating 6 officers short. Again, after today, it'll be 7. There are shifts we only have 2 officers on, which obviously is a safety risk for those officers not having enough backup. And there are numerous times there are way more calls than officers, leading to delayed responses. Just a couple examples of that, and we have had 2 officers on duty. We had a PI crash, which is a personal injury crash, that needed blood draws from Bloomington Hospital, a physical domestic going on at the same time, and then 2 mental health commitments awaiting transport to the hospital. Another example with 2 officers, we had 2 separate crashes involving intoxicated drivers and a juvenile threat involving a local school. Another example, 2 officers on duty, 1 transporting inmate to a hospital, leaving 1 officer to cover all calls. And again, that officer that transported the inmate was there for several hours here at a local hospital. Luckily, it wasn't super busy and we were able to cover it. With all that, we're obviously using a lot more overtime. Command staff is working an immense number of hours. Just like last week, the sheriff worked a 22-hour shift to help cover, and the major worked a 20-hour shift. Obviously, that is not sustainable for a lot of reasons, but they have other duties they need to be doing as well. So we're asking permission to hire 2 of the 3 open positions right now, and we have 2 people on our hiring list.
Okay, I've got one question, you might be able to answer, you might not.
Yes.
And I believe it was in April, we get permission to hire 1. That one's not been filled yet.
So that is the officer, I think the one I talked about earlier, the one from the jail.
That is the one.
We were waiting to kind of recoup in the jail, or hire some people in the jail before we because we moved an officer from the jail to court security, and we didn't want to take,
So that would be his or her position?
Yes. Yeah, the one that was approved. He should be starting soon. Yeah.
So you're requesting 2
Yes.
merit deputies?
When you have these multiple events that need officers to respond to,
Yes.
explain to me how the state police might help cover some of that.
Yeah, the state police are a big help. It obviously depends on what time the event is happening. They do cover, they have like a night shift. I think they go till about 4 a.m. So after that, and obviously that's dependent on what they have going on as well. They're not just solely in Lawrence County. They have an area that they have to be in, which covers other counties as well. So they do assist us, and they're good about that, but it's not always an option.
I passed an accident earlier today on 37 at the Olynyk intersection, and I noticed that the Olynyk Town Marshal was assisting here.
Yes,
too.
and they do. The Marshall Duckett is probably who it was. He's very helpful. Again, that's dependent on if he's working. And a lot of times, if it's close to Olynyk, he will help us. But I think that wreck, all three of our officers working were there because it was a multi-vehicle accident. Yeah.
I want to skip just a hair on, I don't know whether you got the paper in front of you or not, but if you go down to dispatch, if permission is given to hire at least one merit deputy, then we will have a second dispatch open.
Yeah. Yeah, one of our current dispatchers has applied for the patrol spot, and yeah, he did really well in the testing, and I think he'd be a good officer.
There's quite a bit of pay difference, I believe, between merit and dispatch, correct?
Yes. I guess you guys maybe have the same
How many
exact paper that I
dispatchers
do.
per shift?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
What's that? I'm sorry.
How many dispatchers per shift?
So typically it's 3, and I'll get to this at some point, or maybe the next time. We switched to 12-hour shifts to kind of cover, because currently we have 10 total dispatchers. We had one that didn't kind of work out. So to kind of help cover those areas, we moved to 12-hour shifts. So typically those have 2 on that 12-hour shift, and then there's one that's there kind of in an 8-hour time window, if that makes sense.
Well, I can't make the math work. 11 is the bare minimum, and yet you just need, there's just 3 shifts, aren't there? Or if they're 12-hour shifts, there's 2 shifts.
Yeah, but that, yeah, account for days off and all that as well, yeah. If they never took days off, it would be fine, but it'd be enough, but.
I think if you skip down to that dispatch section, where Greg's good with one, we'll end up hiring another dispatcher. But that's going to be quite a bit of money difference between hiring a merit deputy and dispatcher.
It's 2 separate duties, though.
Yeah, but it's 2 separate things, but what I'm reading is Greg would be good with one, Sheriff would be good with one.
But he's gonna move out his dispatch. So
He's going to have, that's what I'm saying, he'll have to have 2 dispatchers instead of 1, correct?
Right, because, yeah, like I said, the current dispatcher, he's gonna be our #1 road officer if you guys approve him. So we do have 2 on our hiring list for the patrol side, but he's our #1 candidate. So we would need 2 dispatchers if that's the case.
Further questions?
How many merit officers do you have on each of the shifts? Is it 3?
So our minimum is 3. We've changed it to our minimum is 2, just with the numbers that we have now. Like our day shift minimum now is 2, and then the days that there are 2 officers working, myself, the sheriff, and the major will help cover, if need be. Night shift only has 4 total officers right now. With days off, that leaves a couple nights with 2. And I think some of these examples are actually on night shift. I know the ones with the 2 accidents with the intoxicated drivers, those were the same night, just within a couple, and that, for those that don't know, that's a very time-consuming thing. And just luckily, there wasn't a lot else going on because there's nobody else to go to calls. But again, with the 2 officer minimum on 3rd shift, we're just gonna try to make it work for now. Ask for the state police to help when they can, even if Bedford can help us if it gets to that point. A lot of reactionary policing and a lot of proactive stuff, just because there's only 2 officers, you kind of have to wait and see. You don't want to be tied up on something and have a call come out and you can't respond.
right now would be one, and then pick up the second dispatch. It's gonna save a pretty good chunk of money.
Say that again?
Hire, giving permission to hire one merit, but that will open up another dispatch, so we'll have to change, because he's only asking for one dispatcher right now,
We are down one currently.
down to one, and that would put us doing 2 dispatchers and 1 merit.
I mean, we're asking for 2 merit deputies. I mean, I see what you're saying, but
Well, this is progressive.
I believe I have the same paper that you have. I think essentially what he means there is if we're given permission to hire at least 1 merit deputy, that guy is going to be our dispatcher that's going to, so we will have 2 openings in dispatch, yes.
Any questions? Any questions? Anybody want to make a motion on one direction or another, or?
I'm gonna make a motion for 2 merit deputies.
Okay, Phil's first on 2 merit deputies. What Greg asked for. Do I have a second?
Second.
Amy seconds. Any further questions? Okay. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay. Abstain.
So we got 1, 2,
I said
3,
nay.
4 noes. So that motion does not carry.
Make a motion for the 1 merit deputy and go with the 2 dispatch. I think that's the most savings.
To the county, yes.
Second.
I got a first and second. Any questions on that one? All in favor of Scott's motion, and that would be hiring 1 merit deputy
2 dispatch.
and 2 dispatch. We'll get to that in just a second. This right now is on merit. Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Wait a minute, clarify please, are we voting just on the merit deputy?
Just on the merit deputy.
Thank you.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Noes? You got 1.
Okay.
Do we need to?
Do I even need to talk about this? We've kind of covered that already pretty much.
The dispatch, that
You
one
will need 2 now.
will
Yes.
have to up to 2 on dispatch.
I make a motion to move 2 dispatch.
Scott's made a motion to hire 2 on dispatch. Do I have a
Second. Second.
Julie seconded. Any questions? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Noes? You got 2 dispatch.
Thank you.
So you get 1 merit, so forth, and 2 dispatch.
Move on to the jail. We have 3 unapproved positions open currently. 1 could not pass their field training. 1 moved to the merit side. That was the one you talked about earlier, approval back in April, I think is what you said. And then 1 moved to court security. In addition, we were down to transport positions, so we're making some jail officers special deputies to help with transports. We're just waiting on them to get all their equipment in. However, this will mean we will often be operating the jail with less officers than normal, as they will be back and forth to court, doctor's appointments, et cetera. We're asking to hire 2 of the 3 open positions for the jail.
Randy, what kind of training do they have to have? How long does that take for a jailer?
Oh, so, forgive me, I don't know the exact time frame on they have a field training program just like the road officers do. Ours is anywhere between 16, sometimes more weeks, 12 to 16 is typically what it is. I think it's similar now in the jail. For the longest time, we didn't have anything like that. In my experience, I got hired in the jail and I walked around with a guy for a week or 2 and they're like, here you go. So it's a lot better than it was, and Sheriff Day kind of implemented that in the last year and a half or so. So there is kind of a structured checklist, if you will, of what you need to know, and they have to accomplish those goals or they don't go on.
This one is for 2 jailers, correct?
Yes.
Any questions on this one? Okay, I'll entertain a motion on this for 2 jailers.
So moved.
Julie first,
Second.
Amy second. Any other questions? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Noes?
Nay.
1 no, motion passed. So you're going to get 2 jailers.
And I think you have some of these figures. I'll kind of go over them just briefly. You have the same, I guess, sheet that I do. I didn't realize that. Sheriff, they just want me to kind of pass along that money is still being saved from the budget. We do appreciate your approval for these hires. I guess there's still, maybe now there's 2 open merit positions. He'll be asking to fill one of these positions later if NLCS takes over paying the salary for the B&O school resource officer. So if they pay that full amount, then that would free up the funds for another position. We are currently not paying our merit officer who is on the deployment. Still have 1 open jail position, still have 1 open transport position. For the remainder of 2025, leaving some of these might be a little bit off now, but leaving, I guess, 2 merit spots, 1 jail spot, and 1 transport spot open, plus the 1 merit deputy being deployed, not getting paid, will result in approximate total savings of $191,000, I guess, plus another deputy's salary, and benefits for the last 15 pays of the year. With the openings, manpower shortages we've had so far in 2025, including the officer on deployment, plus not paying a deputy injured in the line of duty who was on workman's comp for, I think, 4 months, if maybe longer, 5 months. We already had an approximate total savings of $267,000 in salary and benefits for the first 11 pays of the year, sorry. Therefore, you're looking at a total savings of approximately $458,000 from what is budgeted for 2025. This is in addition to the more than $260,000 we gave back to the general fund in 2024 and the more than $100,000 we cut from the 2025 general fund budget before approval. That is over $800,000 of total savings from this department. And I know it seems like we're asking you guys for hire a lot, or for hiring positions a lot. I know it's frustrating, but things have gotten better. We've kind of slowed that decline of people either leaving or being fired, or let go for whatever reasons. In 2022, the year before Sheriff Day took office, which was former Sheriff Mike Brandon's last year, we had 58% total turnover. That's across all divisions. In 2023, the overall turnover rate was reduced to 27%. 2024, the overall turnover rate was reduced to 25%. Of all the employees who left in 2023 and 2024 combined, 32% of those were either fired, resigned before firing, or did not pass the initial training. We have a standard and expect everyone to meet those standards of integrity, professionalism, and accountability. That's all I have for you guys, unless you have anything else for me.
Thank you. I've got one question for you. Back on that, the first one, right under the jail, it's still 1 merit position open. Are you asking to fill this later if NLCS takes over paying 1 merit spot for the B&O school resource officer? I thought that was special there. Is that not?
No, so not that position will not be, unless that's what we decide to do. Currently, our school resource officer that's out at splits between Shawswick, Olydic, and Needmore, he's a merit deputy. Sheriff Day did deputize or make a special deputy for BJ Fulkerson, who's out at Springville Academy, and then Kevin Connor, who's at Mitchell Schools. But that's how that works, I guess, to give them their authority.
That is in Mitchell's case, actually both of them, that's a school employee, correct?
As far as.
Right, we don't.
There's no benefit to the sheriff's department on school breaks, summer break.
That's right. One reason I was questioning was I thought that was special deputy, not a merit.
For the two that you just spoke of.
Yeah, for the B&L position, it would be a merit deputy. And then they would, like you said, they would be useful in the summers or on their breaks for helping cover calls for us.
Is there any further questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That box can skip this one, but we got it. Tim Sled. There we go.
Good job, Scott.
All in favor?
Any questions?
All in favor?
Real quick, when he's talking about the transport officers and the jail staff being low, one of the things I like to come in and talk about is the jail numbers being low and how my people getting over to the jail helps that. But one of the things that I think can't be missed is that the transport officers and the jail staff are a huge spoke in that wheel as well, because before I came, our lawyers weren't getting over to the jail, they were meeting all their clients at court hearings. And that just slows the process down, clogs the jail up. So we rely, now that all of my people are going over there, we rely upon the jail being able to take us in to see our clients. And that means they have to have enough jail staff working to be able to open the door for us, to make sure we're safe when we're in, to get the people from their cells into the visitation rooms. And so there's times where they have to turn us away when they don't have enough jail staff to let us in, and that slows things down. When they're down a transport officer, that's where that really starts to come into play, because the courts require people to be brought over, and if they have to pull one of their jail staff members out, then they don't have as many people to serve the people who are coming in to see clients. So it's essential for that flow that they have enough people. Number one, most importantly to the county council, is the expense that's incurred when there's not enough people to supervise the inmates and they get hurt or do bad things to themselves. That's the main reason you want to have an adequately staffed jail. But the second one is to be able to get us in there so that we can get people processed through as quickly as possible. So toot the jail staff's horn, and the quality of training that they get is really important. There's things that they have to be trained on that we can't even imagine would be even possible. They have to be trained on, that's called the Prison Rape Act, how to behave with inmates so that you don't violate their sensibilities and their rights and things like that. It's a whole training they have to go through that most people don't even think about or wouldn't even think would be but it saves the county a bunch of money that they are. So I rely upon the jail staff multiple times a week, and I know I'm safe when I'm there because they're trained well. As far as my department, everything's going well. Since the last time I was in here, we received a reimbursement from the misdemeanor pilot project for Shannon's work. They had promised us that they were going to be contributing a portion toward her salary. I emailed them today to figure out when the whole misdemeanor pilot project officially launches. They have now produced, the state court administrator has now produced the affidavit that the judges need to adopt. So I'm going to go around to the judges this week and show them the form, make sure they're copacetic with it. If so, get them to adopt that so that when June comes, we're one of the counties that they can officially bring on for the full pilot project. So in June, they're going to make the final selection on who are there's two different categories. There's data collection, which we're already doing, and then there's the full misdemeanor reimbursement project, and those counties have not been selected yet, so I'm pushing to keep us in the front of that pack. But they're holding up their end of the bargain of making sure we get reimbursed for Shannon's extra work on the data collection. So other than that, pushing forward. Questions?
When they pick that other one that you're talking about there, when will that reimbursement start? Is that in?
So it starts in June.
26?
No, but it's in 25, but it would be beginning with whatever quarter, the June through June, July, August, that quarter. That's the third quarter, fourth quarter, second quarter. Third quarter.
Possible.
Third quarter. Third quarter, yep. So reimbursement wouldn't be until the
Sounds
fourth.
good.
Sounds
Hope we make it.
Yep.
Further questions? Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, the last thing on the list is court orders, and these are very lengthy. I'm just gonna read the totals off. Circuit Court was $8,537.50. Judge Plummer's Court was $16,807.90 for a total of $25,345.40. Means these are court orders, there's no motions on these. So, any questions? Okay.
What was the total on that? 32,000?
The total of both, $25,345.40. And Judge Klein was 0. Other questions on the court orders? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
First, second, all in favor, say aye.
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 Pass, we're adjourned. Thank you.
You were hesitant.